and welcome back to the Fixing Football Podcast Extra with me, Martin Naylor, and I'm here with Scott again. Scott, how you doing, mate?
I'm very well, mate.
Good, I'm all good. We're here to talk about Arsenal, so it's time for me to be in the hot seat. So a bit of
icy gunners,
bit of magic. Boof! I'm here now. I'm in the hot seat.
I'm in the host chair. Like I'm now Jeremy Clarkson on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
You have the power now. Yeah, and phoning a friend isn't an option because I'm already. This is it. This is my one friend. So, let's get into it.
Let's do it. So, the Gunners, the mighty Gunners. I think this is a big year for you. But before we get into that, I mean, I don't know. You've covered a lot about you've covered on a previous show. I think you and Arsenal came to the match made in heaven.
So other than just me, my credentials as a fan, growing up, Dad went one way, I went the other. You followed suit, went totally different as well. It was all Arsenal. I was trying to think the other day, actually. Someone asked me what was the first Arsenal match I remember, and I was struggling. And I think it was but the first real Arsenal match I remember sitting watching as a fan, I think was the night they won the league at Old Trafford with Sylvain Wiltord scoring.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that is my introduction.
98, 99 season, is it?
No, 2000, 2001.
Okay.
Goal kit. And I remember because I'd started to get into Henry a little bit. It might have been 01 or 02. Either way. Like I said, we were free agent. I'm 9, 10, 11 at this point. So,
yeah.
But I was well into Thierry Henry and Freddie Ljungberg. But for some reason, there was a big hoo-ha that Wenger decided to rest Henry that night. And Henry and Bergkamp were on the bench. And he went with Kanu and Wiltord up front, just randomly. Before that, it was Overmars. And when Vieira came in, and like every really young kid, you just presumed that Arsene Wenger was born to manage Arsenal. He was named after Arsenal. It was a thing.
Yeah, or Arsenal was named after him. It was one of the two.
They were linked. It's only until later on. So anyway, that's how it was.
Cool. So I think it's important before we get into this season, let's have a look at last season, because a weird one. Because I think if somebody would have said to you, City are going to come third before the season kicked off, you'd be like, oh my God, it's our time. Finally.
Exactly.
A bit of luck. So yeah, talk to me about the overarching feelings of last season.
Last season, it does feel like a missed opportunity, and I can understand why there's a bit of frustration and maybe a bit of banter about Arsenal where we are. I'm a little bit more of a realist when it comes to where we're at as a club. I don't want to use injuries and stuff as an excuse, because the way we'd been building, we were on track. And despite the injuries and despite the stupid red cards that we'll never see again this time, we might see some crazier shit ones this year. But despite the injuries and despite the red cards, it was still a missed opportunity. We drew 14 games. It's unheard of. Everton drew 13 games, and no one close to us did anything close to that. We don't lose a lot of games, which is refreshing. I mean, in the last 3 years, we might have lost 10 league games. It's
not a lot. It's title winning form usually, isn't it? When you start looking at it, those numbers.
But regardless, ill prepared now. Whether there's some stuff, because we know what went on with Edu mid-season, where he ended up leaving. You don't know how long that's been going on for.
Yeah, fair.
Whether that caused unrest, but I had a stinky feeling the moment we signed Raheem Sterling, and it's easy looking back at it with hindsight to think, oh, I called that. But there was just something. There was something old Arsenal about it. There was something end of Wenger Arsenal about that signing, where you pick up someone like that, like a Petr Cech style or a David Luiz. It just didn't sit right. And funnily enough, all Chelsea but that's another story. We're helping balance your books on the yearly basis.
That was one where I just thought, I wrapped my brain as to what was in that for you. I knew it was in it for us. Like you picked up, like 100 grand of his wages or whatever. But
like
I couldn't
there
see what was
is
in it for you.
the romantic in me wants to believe that everything he said was true, and we could have got the last bit of greatness out of a formerly, great Premier League player. But
Yeah,
as it turned out, it turned out the way previous signings like that had turned out, and it was just bad for everyone involved. Back going towards the season, there's some good things, like how much we did get Mikel Merino involved. I think is important because I think he's going to be a valued member this season of the squad in terms of his flexibility. He can play with Rice. We know he can play with Zubimendi. He can play up front. There's so much use for him, and he's so good. He's so good on the ball. The over reliance on Saka, Erdegaard, and what really turned out to be Havertz was so evident and was foreseen by so many Arsenal fans that you could see where the frustration was. And it was probably there with Arteta, despite what he said. It was probably causing distress. It was certainly causing distress in terms of the results. And but so stoic and stiff-faced most of the time. It's really hard to get a read on what he says. And I listen to other Arsenal podcasts, and they're picking apart, honestly, like letter for letter in the way he says everything. And if it's got an ulterior motive, like Taylor Swift just about to drop another album, like he's leaving Easter eggs in each sentence. Like, it's crazy the way the people analyze stuff.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity, I will say. Circumstances game by game and week by week, like the Declan Rice red card. I can't remember who that was against. Was it Bournemouth, maybe? I'm not sure, but we drew that game. The Trossard one against City, where we ended up drawing, where we were winning before in half time. Like, we saw maybe 4 of the 6 red cards we got last season were crazy, and you won't see them again, or you won't see an instance like that again.
Yeah.
So, they're reds.
But all these things that you can just pin on, you look back on your season, you're like, that's where, if that had we got the rub of the green just a different way.
But what I will say is I don't think it was, I'm not putting the fault directly on the pitch with certain players were us not having enough quality. I really think it was a depth issue. We ended up having to chuck Ethan Nwaneri in, and physically he's not there. He's only just turned 18 like this summer. Like, and we're asking him to carry Bukayo Saka's void. And
the big shoots to fill.
He's already carrying the rest of the fuckers. So, the same when Odegaard was out, he was dropping in, he was trying to fill square pegs and round holes.
Yeah,
Havertz is still sort of, I mean, he looks unbelievable right now from this preseason onwards, but up until him getting injured, he still has never really looked like a striker, despite how well he's performed, the amount of ground he covers, the goals he does get. He still doesn't look like a striker, or we play to him like a striker. He's just an extra number 10 almost. So it's a little bit of square pegs, round holes. Great bits were the what's the word? The arrival of Miles Lewis-Skelly on the scene, which was fantastic for us. I think he's an unbelievable talent. Being able to give someone like Nwaneri minutes has been valuable. And I think last season was a real big learning curve for Arteta, and I think that shows with our signings as well this summer.
Yeah, for sure. Just before we move on to signings and what I guess what's been going on over the summer, it's fucking great when one of your academy players just turns out to be that guy, isn't it? It's just so nice to worry or not have to worry about a certain position because random Joe from the academy no one's ever heard of, it turns out he's actually the shit.
There's so much in that, and I really do believe, like, I think we're going to speak about Alexander Isak this on the next main podcast, but there's a lot of talk about the hypocrisy of what Liverpool fans are asking of Alexander Isak and what they've been through with Trent recently.
Yeah.
But Alexander Isak isn't a Geordie. He didn't grow up on the council estate near St James's Park. There is
so Shields born and bred, is he?
There is so much more of a connection with an academy player And I'm not even a London boy, and I can relate to these kids going up through the academy and what it must be like to play for that club who you support, who's on your doorstep. You can see the stadium over the road.
Yeah.
And it does mean so much more. That's why I still have affection for people like Emil Smith Rowe and Eddie Nketiah, and I love to see Alex Iwobi do well, and I want to see Reece Nelson go off and do well. I love these players coming through.
Yeah, agreed.
And
you see him pull the shirt on, it is different.
So, yeah, when someone like, I mean, we had a little chat about Max Diamond on the last podcast.
Yeah.
This kid is a freak of nature, and he's going to be the next one. And there's 60,000 people every week waiting just to maybe catch a glimpse of this 15-year-old kid. It's like, whew.
Yeah, it's weird kind of pressure, isn't it? But yeah, it does mean a lot more. Like when I see Reece James in the Chelsea, I'm just like, oh, it's my boy. He's the captain,
extra, isn't it? It is.
He's proper Chelsea. You know what I mean? It does, like, it is better. It's better than if he wasn't from the. It's better that he's from the academy than he's not. And I can't really. It's quite intangible, but
you don't. It does. There is a thing about it, and I get it, and it's not just the English. It's more that we, not me, but we, the club, helped you become what you are, and now you're about to show us all that stuff. There's something about it. I'd love to do it. I'm going to speak to a friend about some academy stuff soon. I think that'll be a good episode. Let's get back to transfers. Where was I at?
Yeah, so you talked a lot there about square pegs in round holes, and I think something that maybe crosses the two of the, what your business is, what business you've done and left to do, and also probably the hottest Arsenal topic of the summer is the roundest peg in the roundest hole I've ever seen. Seemingly on the surface,
he's here.
Is Viktor Gyokeres finally what every pundit, every expert, every armchair expert has been calling for? Arsenal need a proper striker, and they've gone and got one. So talk to me about it. What's the overall sentiment with Gyokeres, and how's he done in pre-season?
Well, he had 12 minutes in his first game. Then he started the second game, am I right? Yes, he's had half a game, 60 minutes, and then, in order, 12 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, he's been doing his own stuff. It's quite well publicised that he was having a bit of a spat with the sporting owner about the terms of his apparently agreed leaving.
One of these gentlemen's agreements again. That, funnily enough, they're never honoured, are they? It's funny how
it's funny that not many gentlemen in them agreements.
Exactly.
And we spoke about this sort of right at the end of last season, and there was obviously a big debate between Sesko and Gyokeres. Sesko being maybe Arteta's preferred option, but in my eyes, a little bit too Kai Havertz. As opposed to,
I can see that,
the killer that we needed. And whilst Gyokeres is 27, only just 27 by the way, but he's 27. Whilst he's been on fire, it's the Portuguese league, so that's how you caveat that.
Yeah,
but he's just the guy who's scoring the most goals at every level he can be, at international and Champions League. He's a machine, and he's almost Cristiano Ronaldo-esque in his desire to kick on with that. And I just think what really convinced me, I wasn't asked really who we got. I think whoever we got would get goals because we have that much of the ball.
Yeah,
that someone there with some sort of killer instinct. Mikel Merino got 13 goals in all competitions from January. If we'd have signed Gyokeres in January and he got 13 goals, we'd have been like, fucking hell, this is a good signing.
Yeah,
we did that with a defensive midfielder. So yes, while I wasn't bothered, maybe the most obvious answer was the correct one with that.
Yeah.
And what convinced me the most was listening to maybe some of his former Coventry teammates. He was there for 2 years, and one of the so after his first season, he was quite a slight guy, and I mean, he said his physique just changed I can't remember who it was. It was maybe the captain or something. He said, "What has he done to come back like this?" And the animal, and I think he's then gone on to reveal in interviews that it was just a mindset change of, I'm going to fucking do this career. Like I'm going to
locked in, didn't he? He just fucking locked in.
And you see that in a lot of his highlight reels from Sporting, desire, just the sheer willingness to score. Maybe that's what you need. It's like the most obvious answer is maybe the correct one. You can try and be clever. You can try and get Sesko in. He's very Arsenal in the way he looks.
Yeah, big time.
Maybe we've gone a little bit too much Arsenal, and maybe you just need someone to come in and be like,
we're too like our own club.
A little bit like this.
I do know what you mean.
It's sometimes you need that person to be like, fucking watch this. Give me the ball. And I think that's what we needed. I'm not expecting 50, 60 goals. I'm not expecting a Haaland level season from him. But what I am expecting is him to be there, him to want to score every game, and just a bully of a character to get involved. I think he's going to work really well with Saka. I think he's going to work really well with Martinelli. And I think he's going to do really well with Ødegaard and Rice. And those are the people who are going to be closest to him on the pitch.
Yeah. You just got to see how he beds in. And how
one thing I'll get into in a minute, but I think he's really going to benefit Martinelli if we don't go ahead and do any other business.
Yeah. No. And on that, I guess talking of the other business that you've done and what's remaining, what's still on the notepad. And here's, from an outsider's perspective looking in, it feels like you've done almost what I feel like you did the year you signed Rice and Havertz in one. It's like you knew there was a big gap in the midfield and you knew you needed to go and get the best in class. And that's what you did. You dropped 100 million on Rice, who is one of debatably the best midfielder in the Premier League. Depends who you ask him what day it is and which way the wind's blowing, but he's always in the conversation. And then you had like a good chunk of budget left and you went, let's go put on Kai Havertz. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, other people were available to get goals. It was just, I just didn't really get it. And I feel like the Gyokeres one is like, is your Rice this year? And your Madueke is the Havertz. And it's like, why have you done that? And don't get me wrong, there is something to Madueke, but I feel like if you've got that much money to spend, open your eyes outside the market a little bit. There's other stuff going on. So
there's other clubs other than Chelsea selling players.
There's other books you can balance apart from ours. There's a panorama or an Amazon documentary coming about that relationship one day. But yeah, curious to get your take on what's left on the pad, if anything. And I guess your thoughts on that sort of, that feel of, it's like you're taking one good step towards the goal, but then like your others are a bit like not really progressing you. So yeah, I'm curious to see if that's shared.
In our final preseason game, we started with Martinelli and Calafiori on the left. And Calafiori's maverick and he's marauding, and we haven't seen the best of him yet. He's still a young guy. He's dynamic. He can do everything. He's deft. He's bullyish. There's loads to his game. I almost think he might be the complete left back. We just haven't seen that enough. Just the little bits I've seen. He can shoot. He can pass. He's strong.
Yeah.
And I think he complements Martinelli really well. Second half, we swapped and did Madueke and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Miles Lewis-Skelly, very controlled, a dominant midfielder type left back. Madueke stayed out on the left. So there wasn't the overlapping, there was the underlapping. And I wonder if that's been a vision and a tactic in terms of that signing, where we want a almost Giggs style, out and out left winger, left footed, be out on the touchline.
Yeah.
And in turn, create a space inside there. Maybe I'm making an excuse here because I don't see the greatest. I don't see a lot in Madueke, if I'm honest. I'm not going to lie and say I'm excited by the signing. I was never on board. Our WhatsApp chat will provide a lot of evidence to this.
I believe there's a certain shirt you need to buy.
There's a lot of shirts I need to buy with Madueke on the back. But I am willing to be proven wrong in this case. Of course, I'm going to get behind him. I think he'll do well at Arsenal. I expect a few match-winning performances and not a lot else. And unless things change in terms of incomings, I think our season will be Martinelli and Madueke. That being said, business left to do. I wonder if an Eberechi Eze signing changes a lot of that and he becomes our main guy on the left.
That's an interesting one because Spurs seem to be stealing a bit of a march on that if the old Fabrizio Romano's to be believed, which he often, annoyingly, is usually quite accurate.
If I was Eze, if I was Eze, I'd be keeping his options open.
Yeah, I'd be waiting until the last second for Arsenal to pick the phone up.
It'd be a great story because he was at Arsenal and he was let go as a youngster. I think he was at Arsenal. He was at Arsenal. He was at Chelsea. He was at
they all get passed around everybody academy, don't they? Like,
but apparently the Arsenal one was like the one that he really wanted. He broke his heart and he let go when he was 13 and stuff. And it was he really thought he was going to be in that group of players that came through.
Right.
So that would be a great story. I just don't know if it gets done, and that's maybe our fault due to how poor we sell players. I'd be buzzing if he came. I also expect him to put a bit of pressure on Ødegaard.
You should. Someone needs to because after last year.
With that, like, do you sign Eze to potentially stifle any progress for Ethan Nwaneri, as opposed to rather than Ødegaard? Does he get in Nwaneri's way? Max Diamond's way, even. Martinelli's still a young man. And maybe we've seen the best of Martinelli. Maybe he's reached his limit, and that's all we're ever going to get of him. I still think there's a good 15 Premier League goals a season from him. If we're all, we're all on song.
That's very best case, and I think there's an element where you can borrow some tips from some of your neighbours. I think Arsenal need to start to get a bit more ruthless with it because Martinelli, there was talk of a Saudi club paying like 60, 70 million for him or something ridiculous. That, to me, is money you should snap their hand off and reinvest that in other parts of the team. Yeah,
from what I gather, I don't think there's ever been any concrete bids like that. I'd be hesitant, but probably agree that a £70 million bid for Martinelli is probably too good to turn down.
I'll drop him off at the airport myself.
Especially with other left wingers on the market, like a Rodrigo who's seemingly unsettled, or Rafael Leao, or someone like that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And I think that is something that you'll see, like these players like Nwaneri, like Diamond, and we've seen it with the likes of like Amari Hutchison is sort of one that we've both had at our clubs. People will just leave. They won't stick around and wait the same way that maybe they would have used to for a first team chance. If they're good enough, they know that they can get a deal and get a team elsewhere who's willing to play them. So
I don't know. And not that I'm not sold on Eze. I think he's an unbelievable footballer. But it's sort of having the heart to.
It's one of those, isn't it? Like, is 3 years of Eze worth 10 years of Diamond? Perhaps. Like, it's one of those, and sometimes it's almost like not having him for the short term to reap the rewards. Like, if Max Diamond stays on trajectory, he's going to be a top level player.
And that's not the same as buying the difference between buying a Sesko and a Gyokeres.
Yeah,
because you're buying them in, you don't want to really buy a project in that position. Everything else has been the project. We've got 99% of this jigsaw pieces in, and this one, maybe it's that one that looks like it fits. Even if he might not be Arteta's favourite player in the world, and maybe he's got posters of Sesko up on his wall and he's been looking at it for 5 years. Maybe it's the guy who's knocking on your door saying, I want to fucking score all the goals for you. Maybe it's him.
Yeah. Maybe that's the guy that you trust. It's a way. So do you think Gyokeres is going to be the man this year? Or, because I'd say your consensus top player is Rice, I would say. But I guess as an Arsenal fan looking at it, are you hoping that somebody else comes in to be on his level and be another player of that stature? What do you reckon in terms of who your big dog's going to be? Because there's something about your striker just being that big dog, like, I'm going to fucking get the door in. It's almost
too obvious. You don't want to say Starman, Saka super obvious. He's star boy anyway. But
Yeah. Star boy,
yeah,
25.
Gyokeres. Yeah, it's all directions. Everything's going to go through him. I don't see him being a passenger much. He's going to be super involved. He's again looking into analysis from other Arsenal podcasts. They were talking about what he offers, and there's been criticisms that he can look a bit clunky sometimes. The amount of sprints that this guy gets through, and he's a fucking unit as well. By the way, I didn't really realize that. I think the first time Liam told me about him, he was quite a slight, nippy
he's
striker.
a fucking tank now, isn't he? He's an absolute monster.
He is a unit, but the sprints he gets through is ridiculous. It's better than any striker in Europe in terms of the consistent sprints, the running into channels, the link up play. It's honestly it's Ronaldo level of give me the ball, and that's it's sort of what you want. So our star man this season, I'm going to say, is going to be Viktor Gyokeres.
Yeah.
I don't see any big things coming in our route left to do, and I think that's where we're going to be.
Yeah. So Gyokeres is going to, before we talk about maybe people who've gone under the radar a touch, do you think, just very quickly, do you think that there could be an element of a bit too much pressure on his shoulders? Because it's almost been like, oh, the only thing missing is a striker. That classic, fucking, as a Chelsea fan for about fucking 20 years, pisses me off.
Yeah.
And then someone comes in and the shit, and it's like, oh, fuck's sake, we're back to square one. We get Morata and fucking whoever else, and they're all toilet.
Yeah.
So that's the only concern I'd have with that. But I don't know if that's shared.
There is.
It looks like they get, like you had that point about his Ronaldo mentality. I kind of agree, and I think that he's got big enough shoulders to bear it. But
yeah, that's what I think. I think the pressure is going to be fine. He's not going to be short of chances to score. If he looks like he can't hit a barn door, then after about 5 games, there's going to be a bit of a problem. I just don't see it. I just think the desire is going to be there for Arsenal, who sometimes we come out, we get to half time and it's 0-0. I'm like, we've had 99.9% possession here, but we haven't had a shot. And then you think, oh, fuck it, we haven't had shot at the goal. Gyokeres isn't going to be that. He's going to be...
agreed.
Whereas maybe we can... Previously, we've dominated possession and won 1-0. I think his expected shots per game, for whatever nerd wants to calculate that, is going to be way more than what we've been able to put together as a team for the last couple of seasons. So I just think that monkey's going to be off his back sooner rather than later. Pressure. Now, whether he does end up going scoring enough, that's where we're going to... what is going to be the big question,
Yeah. Cool. So we know who your star is going to be, or who the big dogs who are going to carry Arsenal. Who do you think people might be either surprised by this year, or maybe is your next tip to break through the ranks? I mean, we've already mentioned his name once or twice already, but
I'm not tipping Max Diamond to be a breakout star this season because he's only 16 in December.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
He's got his GCSEs to worry about, not my expectations. He might get a Premier League winners medal at the end of the year, but he's still got...
Imagine that. Going to school with your Premier League winners medal. Fucking hell. Makes me feel like a right loser.
Yeah, big time. Honestly, I remember once I went one of my first weeks as an apprentice welder, and Henry Lansbury was named on the bench for Arsenal in that 4-4 where Julio Baptista scored 4. Henry Lansbury was on the bench and we were the same age, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it anymore.
That's when you realize, like, shit.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. So no pressure on Max Diamond's shoulders.
Not him. And I back Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri to contribute and be very involved most of the season. The one I am tipping, though, for the one to watch, and I'm glad it's gone under the radar, is Martin Zubimendi.
Okay. Good shout.
I didn't know a lot about him, didn't want to get myself too excited until it was over the line. It was done mid-season. So
it's okay, isn't it,
the hype... the hype around it had gone. But all I know is this guy was nearly joined us, and then he nearly joined Liverpool, was linked to Real Madrid, was linked to Man City, all the best clubs. So there's something about him, but I still don't know a lot about him. He comes on for Spain. He does well in the Euros.
Yeah, he was class.
For what I've seen in pre-season, the partnership, especially him, Rice, Ødegaard, it might sound a little bit like Declan Rice has to do a lot of the heavy punches, the big haymakers, and take a lot of the shots. Zubimendi controls the play really well. Really excited to see him get hold of a few Premier League games and release Rice and let Rice go and ping some over the top for Gyokeres and be that pivot while less physical than a Thomas Partey or even Christian Norgard. Really control play. And I think the fact that it's gone under the radar is going to surprise a lot of people, the way he starts to pick up the ball from the defence and control games. Excited to see it. I think that's going to be a really good partnership. And I think that's going to be the difference between us winning the league and not Viktor Gyokeres' goals. I think it's the way Zubimendi can release Rice and our midfield can dominate.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I think that there's an element of Rice's game, as good as he is overall as a player. I think in the holding role, I think it stifles him a bit too much. I think
I don't think he's fantastic at receiving the ball off the defence.
No, he's not. He's not often. I think he's better when he's got less time to think about his attacking actions. If he's just coming on to stuff and just happens to be there, that's where you see a lot of Rice. I always think about that. We talked about it on the Chelsea preview, the goal against us where Sanchez cleared it and he was just there, happened to be there, and he pinged it first time. Great finish, even with
starts to get a little bit. If he starts to get a little bit, we've seen it for England. He gets put at the bottom of like a diamond almost, and
it doesn't
sometimes
work.
we get unstuck, and you see Bellingham dropping deep, and he was always better with Henderson next to him because Henderson would give him a little kick and said, "You fuck off up there."
We saw it with Calvin Phillips as well a bit, didn't we?
Calvin Phillips was the perfect foil for Rice, and that's what you saw Rice go, right, I can do this box-to-box thing. I've got a bit of space here.
Yeah. I think that takes Rice from where he is now to hope maybe another gear, I think. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So Zubimendi is going to make Rice better. I'd put money on that as well. So overall, we've done a good bit of business. We've maybe done some questionable business over at the Emirates. It's so overall thoughts and feelings, because I think we're getting to a point, and again, you can give me the Arsenal lens on this. I feel like we're maybe getting to a point now where the patience is less than it ever used to be for the overall club's performance. I think you're right in your outlook of enjoy a bit of the journey because things have been a hell of a lot worse. But we're now approaching Arteta's sixth season, is it? Is it his sixth season?
This will be his fifth full season. So, yeah, it's into his sixth season, but his fifth full one.
His fifth full season. So now I think big money spent, got close. Is the overall feeling one of this kind of has to be it? Or what do you reckon? What's the overall energy around Arsenal at the minute?
There's loads of ways to look at it. If you want to look at it from money spent and results meaning trophies. And we spent a lot. We haven't got a lot of trophies to show for it. I think to back to where we were when he took over, and he had Emery's team, who had also spent a lot of money and were on a lot of high wages. Maybe it wasn't the best group of players, and we were 14th, looking pretty hopeless. The rebuild has been brilliant, and the whole vibe around the whole club is so much better. The impatience thing is hard for me because sometimes you don't want to cut your, like you said before, but cutting your nose off to spite your face is how you need everything to go right to win the league.
Yeah.
And if you look at Liverpool, City fell off. Arsenal didn't really challenge that hard. We weren't top at all last season. We weren't. So it's not like it was a full-on race. Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah played 38 games.
Yeah.
In the mid-30s. It's unheard of. They had even Darwin Núñez got a goal every other game, and he was laughed out of the club.
Yeah. I was looking at Luis Diaz just left as well.
Yeah.
And I think he got 15 league goals, I think, some quite high. And I didn't even notice any of them, which is crazy.
Gravenberch, fantastic season. McAllister got a lot of goals.
He was good.
They didn't miss a lot of games between them. Harvey Elliott contributed a lot. Curtis Jones contributed a lot. All stayed fit.
Didn't it?
And you need that luck. We didn't have that last season. And it didn't click in places as well. I'm not going to say we deserved it other than the injuries. It just, you need all that to go with you. If you look at it from maybe the owner's perspective, Arteta, we got to semi-final of the Champions League. We finished second 3 years in a row. Financially, Arteta is doing great. He only needs a shiny bit of something to you don't get much more money for that little trophy in terms of balancing the books. So while it looks great on your CV to say FA Cup winners, to say Champions League winners, financially, he's doing a fantastic job. We could sell better. That's not on him. That's not his fault.
Yeah, no do with him. Fair.
Where I do think the worry becomes is if this team doesn't perform, is whether he thinks he can't get the best out of it anymore. Because I think he cares a lot about it, and I don't think he's that stubborn to. Not that he would walk away if he don't think he can do a better job. That's sort of the wrong way to put it, but I think he may walk if this team doesn't perform.
Interesting.
I think it would be a mutual decision to part ways if that's the case. If the fans want to get on his back for a couple draws, which is what I don't hope early on. I think we need to start the season well. I think we need to have a fantastic season to win this league this year. I think it's going to be really hard and really strong and competitive.
Agreed.
But I would like the fans, especially the ones inside the stadium, the boo boys that you see on YouTube and whoever else, them ones who are super vocal, if they start getting on the back and the tide turns, I worry that the focus is going to shift. And that's my only worry. Me personally, he can stay as long as he wants. What the club is now and how he picked, how it was in the greatest years of Arsene Wenger is again what it feels like now, with almost even more of a connection with the fans, because it feels like the fans have been part of the rebuild.
Yeah.
And the bringing everyone in. For me, he gets to just go at it until there's an obvious fall off. But finishing second to a fantastic Liverpool team and arguably the greatest Premier League team we've ever seen twice.
Yeah.
Falling off, losing to them, I don't think there's any shame in it. Champions League semi-final showed massive progress. We were third in the overall table, and then we were fantastic all the way through. And then you lose to what is, they just won the Super Cup against Tottenham this weekend. The PSG are a fantastic team. That's who we lost. We went out against, and we weren't embarrassed. It wasn't 7-0. It was.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
There isn't. I think the club is in such a good position. We're so close, so that's why it's frustrating. It's because we're so close. We're not frustrating because we're jealous of Chelsea and Man United and all these other clubs in front of us.
Yeah, it's different now, isn't it?
It's frustrating because we're so close.
And you just need to get that next thing over the line. It's one of those, isn't it?
What I hope for really is Gyokeres. He scores 45 goals this season. And we win the league comfortably. We batter every team. Everything clicks. Everyone stays fit. Everything works. I would love nothing more than to rub everyone's face in it every week, laughing. Yeah. I would make me so happy. But, the realist in me is, and my expectations are a lot less than that. I just want us to keep going. It's so good to be in the fight all the time. And we need to be in the fight. We need to be in the fight all the way through.
Yeah. So is that what we think in terms of what you expect from Arsenal this year? Then it seems like you summarised it pretty well. Be in the conversation and hope that Lady Luck is smiling on you. The
minimum is to be in the conversation, to be absolutely fighting. Sometimes things are out of your control. I don't get too het up about it and worry about the details. Yeah, we lost 1 week. Haha. It's all funny. Banter the Arsenal. Yeah. It's the way it goes. But
yeah, of course.
No, the expectation is to be in the fight. If you're out of the fight, you got a real worry on your hands. If things are falling apart a lot and there's misharmony and there's a lot of bad results and poor performances, they're the worry starts. But that hasn't happened yet, and it hasn't happened for 3 years, and I don't expect it to happen anytime soon.
Fair. Okay, so Arsenal, I think we're going in with a nice bit of optimism. But as we are,
that might be me though. We speak
that
to someone else.
You. Well, you are the official spokesman for all Arsenal fans, as we know. So
this is
tough shit.
It's about
Anyone
time.
who disagrees, sorry, it's tough shit.
But as we are
speaking of the Fixing Football podcast, this is us. So although we do have a bit of optimism, a bit of hope about the new season, there's always something to fix. So it's Andrea Berta, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's his name. He's been sacked.
Suave Italian man.
Yeah, well, we fucked him off now. The Cronkies have rang you, Martin, and you're in the hot seat. You're the guy tasked with. You've got one big problem on your desk. What is it, and what do you do about it?
I've been thinking about this, and I'm not 100%. I know you went with the shirt sponsor one. What would I fix about Arsenal right now? I would like to see. It's been spoken about and rumoured, but I'd like to see some solid plans made to make the stadium a refresh of the stadium and to bring it up to level with Spurs' stadium and the best stadiums in the world. A little bit more. It's almost like the most modern old stadium now, and we moved into it at a time when everything was becoming modern, and it looked amazing. It is amazing. It's a fantastic stadium. I think it could be modernized a little bit more. And they've tried the refreshing all the surrounding areas. I think it needs to be bigger to suit the needs of the club.
Yeah.
To help generate. So I think there'll be some stadium regeneration at some point. I'd just like to see some movement on that. On the pitch, I find it hard. We got the striker that I wanted. We've got a midfielder I really like. The team, there's not much I would change. The fix, in fact, there might be an obvious fix. We need to sell our players a lot better.
I was very surprised that's not where you went first, actually. I was thinking players.
I was thinking positive. Money. I'm always thinking positive. It's even the players, even the players who we want to let go, like Reece Nelson. I have no doubt that Chelsea would get 30 million quid for Reece Nelson, but we might get 5 million in an obligation from Fulham.
That's exactly how it'll go.
Like Fabio Vieira, I think there's a player there, and I think he can do a job somewhere. It's probably not us.
He's got to be ruthless with these.
I just don't doubt that Liverpool would get 25 million for Fabio Vieira, and we will get 10 at best.
Yeah.
Trossard went to, Luis Diaz. He's 29, about to be 29.
Yeah.
Has a worse goals and assist record in the same amount of time of Leandro Trossard. Mm-hmm. Yet we're struggling to shift this guy, and he's looking like a loan to Fenerbahce, or a lowly offer might come in for him from where was he rumoured to be at? I think it was one of the other Turkish clubs. But Trossard is a fantastic player, and he's got an amazing record. He's a great finisher. He's been a great player for us and a great signing. But I think there's money there to be made on him.
Yeah,
even Zinchenko, but we just let these players run it out, and like Kieran Tierney, Kieran Tierney was always going to probably go back to Celtic, but we just don't. We sell terribly, and I worry that is going to cost us in terms of balancing the books later down the line, and someone somewhere.
I think it's one of those, especially with how PSR is impacting everybody. I mean, you boys don't seem to ever really be in the muck and mire of PSR holes that we tend to be in.
Must be some crafty bee somewhere from.
But this is what it will. I think eventually there's going to come a point, because Chelsea can spend so well because we sell so well. Like I think our net spend. I think we spent 280 million this summer when you factor in deals from done previous windows that just completed. But I think we've sold like 230 million quid worth of players. How it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and they haven't made a dent. It's not like you've sold your captain and your star defender and everything. You don't even notice these players have gone. So
mostly squad players or players who just didn't turn out not to be good enough. And so I agree. I think that would be something that somebody at Arsenal, whether it be a specific person, some ruthless negotiator that you get in from Wall Street, who's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, don't get me wrong as well with Andrea Berta. I think he will have wanted to have made an impression to come in. Let's get this star striker over the line. Let's get in some bodies. this is going to make me look great. Maybe now there's an impetus. And I think if there's any more businesses to be done, it'll be late on after some outgoings. Once we've balanced the books a little bit, if we can shift a Zinchenko or a Kivior, maybe if there's some money there to be like Kivior is a good example here. And we'll finish it with this.
Isn't he? Kivior, is he?
He's young, he's Polish international. He had a fantastic end to last season covering Gabriel. Like he did really well. And he's a good footballer, he's talented. But is that not the best time to sell this player? Do we want to keep him as backup when we have Timber, Ben White, Calafiore, who are all fullbacks who can play centre back?
Yeah.
Do we need even Declan Rice could play centre back if we're really struggling? Like, do we need Jakub Kivior in there? And Mosquera, sorry, is in there. Do we need to keep Kivior as well for the love of having 8 defenders? Is it not the best time to sell him? Maybe you can eke 1 or 2 performances out for him, but all being well, he doesn't play this season.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen because if everything does go according to plan, you win the league.
Yeah,
your back four's probably all going to stay fit, which is going to be Saliba and Gabriel, Timber and White. Probably is it? That's probably your back four.
It depends. I really like Ben White, but yeah, probably Timber. I'd like to see Calafiore get a good run of games. Not that I don't want Miles Lewis-Skelly to kick on, but I want to see something of Calafiore, and I think that will. It trickles on.
I know you've not long brought him in, but he came in with like a lot of hype. Like that brand Calafiore was fucking. He's another one. If Lewis-Skelly's the answer, you could ship Calafiore for 60 mil, and it's like it's not ideal. You want everyone who you bring in to be good. But sometimes you just got to be like, sorry, mate, it's tough shit. We've got this kid. He cost us nothing. Off you go. We've got 60 million for another. Someone to not rival Saka, but be the Saka of the left wing.
And more importantly, like before you. It's like we keep players like Johan Juro around for 8 years. Like this guy's close to a testimonial. He's not even played 50 league games. Like, there must be some sort of different qualification here. Like, you fucking end up loving these players because they've been part of your family for nearly 10 years, and they've barely kicked the ball, and they're rubbish, and they don't really fit. Like that isn't the case with Calafiore, but it might be.
You make a tough decision at some point, aren't you?
So. Yeah, Kivior, there might be some value in. There's still some probably value in Vieira and Zinchenko, but we need to get better at it. It's one thing where we need to do better, so we'll see.
100%. So the Arsenal season preview is in, and in a couple of weeks, we'll be doing our ill-fated predictions episode when the transfer window slams shut. And I've got some ideas, and I think me and you, after what we spoke about before, we may have a similar...
I think
might be on the similar page, but it won't make Liam happy.
One thing for certain is we know Luke is not on the same page as anyone. And Luke Foley is in. The predictions, the last minute scrambling for finding a player who's nominated as worst signing. Inevitably an Arsenal player. Or something like that.
He pulls anybody for no reason.
He just goes, who've Arsenal signed? Oh, one of them. Yeah, we'll take one of them. Predictions episode. We've got fantasy football. This will be out on Friday, along with our Chelsea episode. So catch them out. You have till today to get involved in the league. League kicks off tonight. Buzzing. The Premier League is back. Scott, thanks very much for jumping in and helping me out with this.
No problem at all. Good to hear about the Gooners.
The Gooners, yeah. Well, no, you're a bit more educated. You can lay off the bants and the WhatsApp. Social media, you can find me at MLN the DJ. I'll be at Creamfields next week. Be there with Scott. Scott's coming. I'm going to be there.
I'm social media manager.
Yeah, and you can find all our information. The website's back up, fixingfootballpodcast.com. That's all the information there. Scott, love you, mate. Peace.
See you later.